Preparing live stream.
Preparing live.
The host has started broadcasting the meeting on YouTube.
We have. I think we're up and going.
Broadcast meeting Zoom.
I don't think I have to change anything this time. We'll find out in like 20 seconds, I guess. Well,
you think
Windows M desktop. Start. Type here. Taskbar file explorer button. Taskbar zoom to running windows button. Window 1 running window. Enter. 1. Track 01 window paused.
All right. All right. We are ready to go. I'm not getting any feedback, so we're just gonna pop it off. Here we go.
Volume set to 33%.
Baseball world, welcome back to the second ever live Beepball Blues Show here on the Beepball Blues Show YouTube channel. Woo! Trouble on the south side.
Volume set to 33%.
Please don't tell me that all this time you couldn't even hear the music.
No, we could.
Yeah, we heard it.
I was concerned at one point, right after you started to speak, you cut out, and so I was like, "Oh man, he's gonna be thinking he's heard." But then we heard you turn up your volume, and then you popped in. So we heard all your lovely South Side singing and all that good stuff. So. Welcome, welcome. Another edition
Zoom meeting 406. Zoom 1 of 6. Zoom meeting 406.
I didn't actually turn it up or down.
Lost focus.
Now I'm trying to get back into Zoom so I could just turn
taskbar,
off the screen share.
Windows, Zoom task switcher list box.
Yeah,
Zoom.
right,
Zoom meeting 406.
everybody gets to hear
Zoom
your
1 of
voice.
Zoom meeting 4 enter. Zoom. This meeting is being.
Say that again.
I'm
I'm
so
sorry.
now everybody gets to hear your computer voice.
You can't.
Hello.
Oh, that does work like that, doesn't it?
Okay.
Yes, everybody.
All right,
hears
there.
you.
All right, I turned off the screen share. Wanted to have music, and we had it, and it's gone now. But welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Had a hard time getting things going. We need to start by saying that I am Neil Dog, and I'm joined by my new co-host, Dr. Clark.
Thank you. But you got to be more specific. Dr. Seth Clark. You know, there's several Dr. Clarks.
Not just in the world, but in your family.
Yes.
What's
Yes,
that?
Neil Dog. It is I've come down from on high to share my wisdom with the world.
I guess we should explain that Seth finally now has a new computer to go with his new life, but the old headset doesn't fit it. So he is not sounded as direct as you might be used to, but we'll work on that as time goes.
I was crushed. Neil Dye was like, "Oh man, the PhD's done. I can break out the new computer. The new computer is moving fast. Everything is beautiful." And then I looked on the side. It's like, "Oh, boo, no headphone port." But I will be able to get some Bluetooth headphones at some point in time, Neil Dog. It's just a minor hiccup, Neil Dog. A minor hiccup.
Before we dive in and bring in our guests, we have Hall of Fame Deb Brummer here with us. We have Lakeisha Holmes of the Women of Our League here with us. Did you come up with the 5-word sentence I asked you to come up with?
Yes.
You're coming up with it as we speak.
Hey, Neil Dog, I got 4 freaking degrees now. And you should see me counting it out on my fingers. 1, 2, okay, that's 5. I think that's 5.
In case you didn't show up, I was gonna have to come up with a sentence on my own. I was doing the same idiot thing. Like 1, 2, yeah, that's 5, I think.
I'm not totally sure.
So
it could be 5, could be 4, could be 3. You know.
One of the things we're going to do with Lakeisha is promote the wool raffle, donation-based raffle that's coming up. And so we, as part of the show, are giving away 5 tickets. Only this time, Seth Dog, it's not going to 5 different individuals. We are going to give all 5 tickets to one person. So what I want to do is throughout the show, drop 1 word at a time from your 5-word sentence. And after the show's done, the first person to post your sentence in our comment section is getting all 5 tickets and a chance to win some Airbud Pros. I'm sure. Did I say it right, Lakeisha?
No.
AirPod Pros?
Yes.
AirPod Pros. I'm an old man. So before we bring them in, talk to them up a little bit, Seth, could we have word number 1?
Oh, Neil Dog, I'm really concerned this isn't actually a full sentence, but in the end it will be, I think. It's.
All right.
It's.
I don't care if it's a full sentence. I just need 5 words, really.
It might be, might be a sentence fragment, man. Don't know how many times over the last several years I've written something just out of my spell check, say sentence fragment. Oh, not a sentence fragment. But I believe it is fine, Devil Dog. It's.
All right. Word number 1. And we won't be repeating them as we go. Just one word at a time. All right. Well, first, we've said hi to Lakeisha real quick, and we're going to be talking to her a lot about wool. Let's bring Deb Brummer in. Deb was inducted into the NBBA's Hall of Fame just last year, 2021 inductee. And I think the biggest note that should be made is that she is now just the second woman player ever to have made it into the Hall of Fame. So welcome to the show, Deb.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very
be
welcome.
here.
Very welcome.
I hate to to bring up other things. Who's the first?
Karen Wendell.
That's what I figured. But
Karen Wendell.
Wasn't 100% sure. Wasn't 100%
Right.
sure.
And I mean, we've talked that beat baseball's been a co-ed sport since the beginning, and we've talked a lot about it having been a male-dominated sport for so many years. Deb, you were playing and starting at a time when there just weren't hardly any women in the league. I know there's not a lot now, but talk about like the beginning years for you being one of a few women in the league.
Well, you're right, Neil. There wasn't very many. We probably had more on our team than was in the rest of the league all put together, I think. And that wasn't a whole lot even then. But so, I started playing way back in, well, the first year that I was introduced to beepball was in 1978. So I've been around for a long time, and in the early years there really wasn't that many women that did play, and of course Karen was one of the probably all-time great players, and I played against her a handful of times, not many. It doesn't seem like.
Can I just stop you real quick and just ask, just what teams like did you start with in 78? And you know what I'm saying, like what teams? You just throw the team names out so we can kind of place them.
Well, and they weren't the teams then, Seth, weren't associated with NBBA when I first started. Two really good friends of mine went to Lawrence in 1977 and played with that team. They didn't play with them, I don't think, but they went down to see about it. And after that, then them and myself and a few of our other friends, we just started kind of trying to get something going. So the first actual NBBA team that, I was invited by Wichita Sonics to go with their team in 1982. And then in 1983, my Topeka Gophers team went for the first year. So that was the first team that I was associated with that went to the NBBA World Series, was in 1983. And I played with Topeka throughout the years of all the years that they played. And then when the World Series went to Taiwan in 2000. That was pretty much the end of the Topeka Gophers team. I was on the Kansas All-Stars roster in 2003. And then I did not play again until I moved to Wichita in 2008. And Kevin Burton asked me to help with the forming of the new Wichita Sonics team. And I played with them then for 2009 to 2013.
Man, I didn't realize that you go back as far as 78, and like Seth, that drew my interest. Before we, and this is my fault the way I kind of jumped into stuff because I want to walk through, and Seth and I have a history, I think, of playing with your Topeka Gophers. So I want to walk through all of that with you. But I want to bring Lakeisha back in and promote the wool stuff real quick. She had a busy day going. I told her that we try to squeeze that in at the beginning and let her get that out there in case she had to leave us, take care of her little ones. So Lakeisha, if you could jump in. I know that you guys have a wool committee coming up on Wednesday, July 20th. You're inviting all of our lady members of the MBBA membership to be part of that meeting. And if they show up, they're going to get their name put in a hat for a $25 gift card. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I believe we're going to have 2 winners. So for all the ladies, for all the ladies who come, 2 of them will be lucky and get a $25 gift card. I don't know from where. I want to say Amazon, but I'm not 100% sure.
$25 gift card is good wherever it comes from.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That'll work. All right. So, and then also with the wool donation-based raffle, I'll say it right this time, that wool is giving away a pair of AirPod Pros.
Yeah.
Nice gift for anybody. The tickets are $5 a piece, or you can get 5 tickets for $20. You have until July 29th to purchase your tickets, and then the drawing will be on the 30th at the MBBA banquet, or the winner will be announced at the MBBA banquet on Saturday.
Yep.
If you want to get your tickets, I don't want to give out everything because there's like 10 different ways you could buy tickets. So I'm just going to have them go to your email. Is that to the wool email? Is that okay?
Yeah. If they email wool@mbba.org with their name, there is a lot of ways to pay. And I think that one of the ways is at the wool game, which is taking place on that Wednesday, which is the 27th, I believe. Yeah, the 27th at 6. And so I will be actually handling the wool raffle because I'm not playing this year. So I'll be taking care of the money and the children. And
keep that money away from Axel.
Yeah.
I don't trust him.
So like if people come to the wool game and find me, most likely I'll have my Bombshells jersey on. They can buy tickets there too, or they can come and find us. We'll be pretty much all over the place at the series that week. And the deadline is at noon on the 29th because we did it last year. We had people buying tickets up until banquet, and that was just too much. So we cut it off the day before. Yeah.
All right. So noon
Friday
Central Time on Friday the 29th. All right. Friday, July 29th. So everybody has plenty of times, and that's wool. That stands for Women of Our League, wool@mbba.org. If you email them, they'll send you all the information you want. If you know Lakeisha Holmes, or Faith Penn or Kalari Jackson, all members of the committee. Just reach out to them, tell them what you're looking for, and get all the information you need. And of course, you guys are more than welcome to, when we post the show, feel free to put all that info in the comment section if you want to help people get there faster.
I'll do that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Man, I appreciate you helping us get all that info out, Lakeisha, and not trusting me to tell everybody they're going to get earbuds or whatever idiot thing I said.
I mean, they're kind of just earbuds, AirPods. They all do the same thing. So.
That's a nice gift for $5. So people need to jump in, support the women of our league. And do what you can. Help them out. Get out to the game if you're at the World Series. Keep supporting it. Cool,
Have
Keith.
you ever been to a Wool game, Neil Dog?
I have not. I've listened to them. I listened to the streams.
Oh.
Have you?
I have not.
I mean, you asked me as if I should be shamed. I haven't been to the
No,
World Series.
I just
You've
didn't know
been
if
there.
they came online before you left the World Series or whatever.
No.
This all started 2015, 2016.
Yeah, we started in like planning in 2015, but our first game was 2016. So yeah.
I don't think, and to be honest, I don't think I've ever been to a Wool game. You know me at the World Series, dude. I'm either on the field or I'm pulling daddy duty. You know, Christina goes and hangs out with the peoples. I sit in the room with the kids. So you know, that's my life.
He paints such a responsible picture of himself.
Yeah, hey, that's me, man. You can find me asleep by 10:30 up in my room every night.
Hey, speaking of you, and I'm going to need you to help me remember this throughout the show so we don't cram them all up at the end. What is word number 2?
The.
T-H-E?
Yeah, the. T-H-E.
All right. Just make sure I heard you correctly. All right. Word number 2, the. All right. Hey, I forgot also, I wanted to give a couple shout outs to some birthday boys in the beat baseball world. Our boy White Lightning turning 26 today. And our man Marvin Morgan is like 126 today. I love you, Marvin. I don't know why I'm talking trash. He's out there getting on the All-Star team. I'm 10 years younger than him, so I don't know why I'm talking trash. But nah, man, Big Marv, he's having a birthday.
Are you sure you're 10 years younger than him?
I might be less than that. Might be like 8. I just turned 54. I think Marvin may be turning 62 or 3.
62, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you putting the man up there at 64, man. Come on. Man.
I put him at 126 to start. He just got a lot younger. But happy birthday to Marvin Morgan of the Bayou City Heat and to White Lightning of the Chicago Comets.
Bayou City, what time is it?
Time to get old. Time to get slow. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Bayou City's retooled, man. Ready for a deep run. Third place, at least. You heard it here first. Damn rankings. Bayou City, third place.
Nice.
There you go. I put it on tape.
So, Deb, bringing you back into the forefront, because a big motivation of putting this episode together is celebrate your induction into the Hall of Fame. You know, when you mentioned your journey, you talk about playing with the Topeka Gophers, which I had thought was your first team. I didn't realize that you started out even earlier than that. But man, it felt like, at least in the late 80s and early 90s, I wasn't with Seth and I started playing together in 90 with the Blaze and stayed together on the Dogs. It felt like the Topeka Gophers were in our round robin bracket every single year. Do you remember that back when we were playing?
Yes.
I believe so. It sure felt that way.
It's like every time, man. Topeka.
And I always felt bad because you guys, the Gophers were a really solid team. but like I could remember in like 90, our round robin was like the Austin Blackhawks, the East Bay Blaze, your Gophers, and I don't even know who the 14 was, but you know, that's already a tough bracket. And there, you know, there was a winners. Only two teams came out of each round robin to go on to the winners bracket. So it felt like the Gophers. I feel like the Topeka Gophers are one of the best teams that never really got too many shots at finishing in like the top 5, and a lot of times because you're just always in a tough round robin.
Yeah, it seemed like it, you know, it always did to us. I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like the cards are stacked against you sometimes. It's like, man, this ain't fair, man. But I always love. I still to this day say, will find myself saying, Topeka, go for the base. Topeka, go for the ball. Topeka, go first.
Go for it all. That's right. I forgot
Yeah,
about
that's right.
that.
That's right.
Good memory, Seth Dog.
I still say that to this day.
I had forgotten about all of that. That's cool. Even after we switched over and the Blaze were no longer around, we were the West Coast Dogs, man. Bam, right there again. The first year we were the Dogs. Who's in our round robin? Topeka Gophers. And Deb brought that up, Seth, because that was in 94. Lakeisha just left us. I appreciate again that she came in, helped us promote the wool stuff. When I was talking to Deb ahead of time, getting ready for the show, she brought up that it was the Gophers we were playing when I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, but
now that it's said, yeah, I do. But I would not have been able to tell you that.
she had the same complaint that you did. I took too long to get off the field.
Hey, messed up the whole flow of the game. Just drag him off the field. Yeah.
Grab him by the feet, pull him off.
Exactly.
She's like, yeah, all I remember is just sitting there going, when are we going to start this game again? But go ahead.
Go ahead.
You were going to ask something. Go ahead.
No, so I mean, I'm always like interested in Hall of Famers, like, you know, and people with long careers, like their favorite like kind of moments of the games, the thing that they when your career's over. I mean, we always think about the players we played with and stuff like that, but like the game wise, like what sticks out in your mind as one of your great like memories of actually playing beepball?
Well, I can surely say that for me playing and experiencing with other players, you know, their first like run scored or their first put out or whatever was always a real big highlight for me. And I got to do that quite a bit, playing with the Gophers and clear into when I finished out my playing time with the Wichita Sonics, the newest, the new revived Wichita Sonics, because they were all new, just about. And so that was always
a different. Sorry to interrupt you, but just to be clear, that's a different program than like the Wichita Falcons that have been playing the last couple of years, right?
It is, yeah. It is.
I didn't realize there was a Sonics revival there for a little while.
Yeah, we played from 2009. Our first game was in Stockton.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I said I didn't know they were together, and then I remember the last time I saw you was in 2009 in Stockton play with the Sonics. So
yeah,
I'd forgotten that.
And it was, you talk about, just kind of things, deja vu or whatever. Our first game to step onto the field in that game was against I think it was the Dogs. It would have been the Dogs probably. Tim Hibner was pitching.
Yeah, that was us.
And it was just like, that was just like kind of stepping back in time to me when I did that, and But Seth, you ask about highlights, and probably in the last World Series that we played as the Topeka Gophers in '99 in Sacramento.
Right here where I'm sitting.
Yeah. And that year, we were so close to going into that winner's bracket in that game, but we got beat in the end by Colorado, and we always had to play them too. We always had to play Colorado, it seemed, no matter where. But anyway, that was a very close game, and that wasn't a highlight, that losing in that game. But then we came back in the consolation bracket, and we 12-run all our opponents in that bracket, including Houston twice. And we had been beat so many times by Houston that was probably kind of a highlight.
Well, if you just barely missed the winner's bracket and feel like you should have been there's no way to kind of prove that better than to go through and run rule everybody in the consolation bracket.
Well, I actually was involved in the last play of that game. I was a put out as a runner, and I swear I touched the base, but I was called out because the umpire didn't think I did. So, and that would have tied the score with the top of the lineup coming up. So,
what did you say, Seth? Oh, sorry.
But I've always hated those things. Umpires.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, and it's just one of those things. But
right.
But so to go out in '99 that way was, I had conversations with Bob many times after that if I never was able to play again in a World Series, that was a good way to go out for me. And then as fate would have it, I played 5 more years after that, 10 years later.
So I've always
works out.
Yeah.
Right. I actually thought that was going to be kind of my story in a way. When I walked away in '09, I hadn't announced a retirement. I just needed to get away from the situation I was in. I wasn't happy anymore. So I wasn't set on not playing again. I would have expected that somewhere down the road I would have picked up and played again, but it didn't work out. I always think of you, Deb, like I mostly remember you because you were really good. You played up front on the defense, and you're a really good defender. Do you have a preference which you like playing more, offense or defense?
I liked it all, Neil. It was just the second that I started playing, I liked it all. Certainly as time went on, my strength would have been more to the defensive side. I had a couple of injuries that were knee related that, I then was wearing braces and stuff like that. And the bases changed from 90 feet to 100, and I got older and so I wasn't as quick as I once was. And at that point, you might have remembered me as mainly being a short fielder, but I actually, throughout the years, I played all over the place, and I played deep, I played middle. So,
do you have a preference? Do you have a spot you like playing more than the other?
I like that. I like that short position when I was in, shall we say, the prime. as as time went by, I definitely liked stepping back some. When I started playing with the Sonics after I moved to Wichita, I played like in the middle, like straight up the middle, but in the middle. We didn't play that 2-2-2, I guess, that
Yeah.
a lot of teams are playing. We played. Then
you
we were
played real
playing
beepball. Say it. You can say it. You played real beepball.
Seth really pushes the point. He loves the point player.
And I did play that at one point, way early on. We played that way, and I played that.
That's my favorite spot to play. I mean, I've played in short right, and I've played like in positions, further back, but the majority of my career I played the point, and that's my favorite spot to be.
Mm-hmm. I liked playing later. I liked playing back in that middle position, kind of in the middle of the field where you pretty much move on every play too, but it was back a little bit further. So I guess it gave me a bit more time to react.
Right.
So
you mentioned you threw Bob in there. I want to point out that Bob Bigger that you're mentioning, a great pitcher from the Topeka Gophers and just a great MBBA member. He has been a great member of the league for many years. When we were talking about my dislocating my shoulder against you guys, I've talked many times about how my own teammates were just hurling insults at me. Angry that I'm holding up the game and I didn't make the play. But Bob Bigger, God bless him, came over, got down on a knee, was sitting there holding my hand, talking to me while we're waiting for the ambulance to come drag me off out of everybody's way. So I had forgotten about that. You brought that up in our phone conversation. I just want to give some love to Mr. Bob Bigger, because he came over and was comforting at a time when I was in pain.
Yeah, well, is a great person for the sport. I played from the time he started, all the way through. We actually hosted 25 tournaments in Topeka, and regional tournaments.
Right.
And
I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, our first one was in '84, and they went all the way through to 2008. I moved to Wichita in 2008, and a week after I moved, I was back up there playing in my final Topeka tournament.
I had no idea. Did you know the Topeka tournament went that long, Seth? I had no idea.
No.
It went 25 straight years, and that was all kind of a culmination of putting the heads together of Bob and Mike Rusk, who was my the friend of mine that went to Lawrence that first found beepball or whatever. Yeah. Mike and Bob, when we got Bob onto our team, they kind of had the idea of putting that tournament together, and we I don't know if you guys know the story of how we got Bob, but
wait, hold on one second. I want to hear it, but Seta, we need word number 3 because I keep forgetting about that.
Oh yeah.
Sport. No, sport.
Sport?
Yeah.
The word number 3 is sport. All right. Go ahead with your Bob Bigger story.
So we had the Telephone Pioneers were a sponsor of ours, and Jeanette was a telephone pioneer, and so Bob was just kind of along with her to come to this picnic. Is how we got it, acquainted with him, right. And then after that he was in it all gung ho, and he learned to be a good pitcher. He wasn't a good pitcher at first, but he learned to be a good pitcher. He put in the work.
That's fair, because I started in '87, And I remember not, I got to know Bob because I was getting involved with the board of directors pretty quick, and he was involved there. So I was getting to know Bobby, but I didn't necessarily think that he, was the best pitcher in the world. But around it seemed like around 90 to 92 and that stretch, he really started. It helped that you guys started putting together a stronger lineup. That's around the time John Parker was with you guys and a few other players, but Bobby's pitching level really picked up in that time too.
Yeah, and it did help that we got probably more athletic players at that
that helps
coming
all
into the lineup. Yeah, it does, but yeah, he just continued to get better and better, and so he just kind of grew into it, I suppose like I did too. It's like I said, I loved it from the second I saw it. I always liked sports, and it was something that I could compete in, and he was kind of the same way. We always thought we were surrounded with good people.
I always, because as long as I could remember from my being in the sport, it's the Wichita Sonics and the Topeka Gophers, and then, more recently, the Wichita Falcons. I had no idea that there was a team in Lawrence to begin with. Were they a World Series team?
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to kind of think that it seems like they might have hosted a World Series. Maybe not. I might be wrong about that. But they were involved in the NBBA and in the, they went to a World Series, I know. But they kind of folded, like I said, we just kind of had a team that we just sort of played around, real recreational for a few years. And they pretty much folded even as we were forming a team. So I never saw them play. I did once. They came up and played like a scrimmage with us or something. But, they weren't, after that, I don't think you heard about them too much. But back then, I believe there was only like 8 teams that attended the World Series.
Yeah, it was a smaller tournament back then.
Yeah, and you had to win like out, and there was competition for it to be able to get in. It wasn't like it is now back then.
Right.
That I think changed in the 80s.
That's something that I like, Seth being a historian and by nature, and both of us loving the game. That's something that would be fun, I think, for us if we could find somebody who really, has a good line on like how the tournament started and how teams got in and stuff. Because you hear little bits and pieces here and there, but I don't know if you guys are different. But I've never really heard. I don't know exactly how like it worked back in the early or in the mid 70s when things got started. It'd be fun to find that out.
I think, the teams had to win had to win out in their state or whatever to be able to play in that. And I'm almost thinking that some of the stories that I've heard, like through people like Doc Bradley, people like that, said that in the beginning, the host city like hosted all those the teams, but it was only 8 was the most they ever had.
And I can remember too, Michael Garrett, I think on this show, talking about how like they had to win out amongst the Texas teams to get to the World Series. But for everybody else, Seth, I don't know how many teams there were even like playing. Like, you know what I mean? Who did you have to beat out to get to the World Series? It's hard to.
Well, there was teams in
there.
There was teams in Minnesota. There used to be a tournament, and we attended it quite maybe 5 years. 4 years up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. There was a good team up there. That was the first place that I ever met the Chicago team. John Lakowski Sr. was pitching for them then.
Johnny
was playing in that
Likowski has
tournament.
Maybe I
been.
have my next project, Neil Dog, the history of the NBBA, man. Yeah, I got my next project. I'm off. I gotta go. Bye-bye. I'm into the archives. Goodbye. Have fun.
Can we get word number 4 while I have you? Of. Word number 4 of OF. All right. So Deb, with the Hall of Fame, for one, I think it's way cool that you are from Kansas and that you were inducted when the World Series was right there in Wichita, Kansas. How far ahead of time did you know, or did you find out like at the World Series? What was that experience like?
I knew a little bit ahead of time, but not too much ahead of time. But I did have a little bit of prior notice. So I mean, it wasn't at the moment, in the moment of things, it wasn't a total shock. Which it probably would have been, I was kind of shocked by it when I found out, but
Right.
but it wasn't right there at the time the award was presented. I mean, I did know before that.
Time to take it in.
Yeah, a little bit. So I wasn't totally speechless, but maybe close to it. It was a big honor.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to share both, how you feel about the honor of being in the Hall of Fame, period, but also as being just the second woman to be inducted, woman player. There have been like spotters and stuff that are in the Hall of Fame, but you're just the second woman player. Could you talk about the significance of both?
Well, of course, it's a huge honor. I mean, I've been, admired people throughout the sport for all the years that I played, and so it's almost overwhelming, really, the feeling. So, as far as being you ask about being the second female player, I guess I never really thought about that too much because there just wasn't very many. So,
Right.
I never really thought about that too much.
Do you, are you excited about what they're doing now with like the women of our league and how many more women that we have playing in the NBBA compared to then?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing, that more are playing, and I'm glad they're getting the opportunity, and I never really guess I felt like people were, that we were being shut out or anything like that back when I was playing. I don't know if just not very many knew about it, all kinds of reasons, I suppose. But I mean, it's really, really a good thing to get, to be involved in. It has so much more impact than just on somebody's life than just playing on the field, I think.
No, I agree. I mean, Seth and I have talked a lot on this show, especially like the World Series tournament. Like the impact of just being in that environment when you're like, Seth and I were young blind people when we got to go for the first time, and the impact that it had on us as individuals was tremendous. So beyond like playing in the game.
It's really, really a wonderful thing to be able to be around other people that are, have all kinds of backgrounds and all kinds of success, it's, that's a real, it's inspiring, and so the benefits go far beyond the play that you have on the field. I think it kind of gives you the thought that you're going to be able to go somewhere with your life, I think.
The words I've used for and everybody has their own way of saying it, but the way I've been saying it for years is finding the sport and the tournament helped me feel comfortable in my skin again. Because I had lost my eyesight about 7 years before that, and even though I thought I was adjusting well, I never really started adjusting until I found beep baseball. It's the way I feel. That's the impact it had on me.
And I think for me, having grown up going to public school and whatever, and never really having the opportunity to compete in a team sport, it was just so way cool to me to be able to compete in a team sport and play in that kind of a thing. I would, in high school and stuff, I ran like track, but I never had good enough vision to like play basketball, which is what I really would have liked to play.
Well, actually, I got a question to go further from that, but Seth, I want to grab word number 5 from you. Kings. I was going to predict it. I'm glad I didn't, because all right. That's a sentence. I was gonna predict the word, but I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been way wrong.
Yeah, you would have kneeled down. Yeah, you would have kneeled down.
Oh, I totally forgot the question that I was going to ask Deb off what she was just saying. I'm not good at like changing directions. My mind, like, it's too forgetful. But I know one thing I did want to ask you as we're coming up to the World Series, because when I'm checking out streams during these tournaments, there are a lot of times that I see your name pop up there listening to streams. So I know you're still checking out the games. Who do you have your eyes on as possibilities going into this World Series?
I think probably it's San Antonio, Edge. I think those are going to be in the top. I think Houston has a pretty good chance.
Now you got to be more specific. The Heat or the Hurricanes?
The Heat.
I assumed that's who you meant, but we got to check.
That's true. I forgot. Yeah. But anyway, I think it'll be, hopefully there'll be a good tournament down there. I'm actually going. I'm going to
cool.
Beaumont.
All right. Cool.
So
good for
I'm
you.
gonna go down and volunteer my time a little bit.
Nice. Go do some base operating, or you got other things in mind?
I am, yeah.
All right, cool.
She doesn't inspire you, Neil Dog. She doesn't inspire you to get a ticket and go down there and volunteer your time.
I inspire me to go, yes, but am I going to Beaumont this year? No. I'm always inspired, Seth. Doc. I don't do a lot with my inspiration, but I'm always inspired.
Now I'm looking forward to seeing some games down there, and I'm pretty excited about the team from California that's going to be there.
Yeah, me too.
See what they can do. It's tough to be a brand new team going in trying to play like that, but
it is, and they're going to have their struggles, but at the same time, at least 3 of their players have been playing on other rosters over the last few years. So they're not going in totally. I mean, it's still going to be tough, brand new pitcher, a pitcher that hasn't pitched at the World Series yet, stuff like that. It's, they're going to have their struggles, but they're more prepared than just like a team coming out of nowhere, I think.
I think so too. So
I think they'll be able to make a run. You got anything else for our guest, Set Dog, before we let her get back to her Sunday evening?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right.
Next week, I hope to have some headphones, man. So my audio will be up to your standards, Neil Dog. I'm sorry.
Actually, you sound, I mean, at least to me, you sound better on this like open mic than you did on your other computer. It's got a pretty good sound.
My old slow computer.
I don't know how well you hear us, but
I hear you guys perfectly. You got bass in your voice, Neil Dog.
Boom.
Yeah,
That's right.
Like a man's voice.
Like one, finally. Finally. Well, Deb, thanks so much. I appreciate that you put up with us being a little disorganized at the beginning. You're very patient. I appreciate that. But thanks a lot for joining us and talking about your career. And congratulations again for getting in that Hall of Fame.
Yay.
Well, thanks. And I think that it just beat baseball is good for people, whoever gets into it, and I wish every team that's going down there much success.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Good words on that. And that'll be it for this week. We'll be back next week to do our last recap. We have 2 tournaments going on that I know of next weekend. If there's anything else going on, we'll get on that also. But you got the second part to the Beast of the East. Last week, I kept throwing out Beast in the East. I need to slow down, say my words correctly. But part 2 of the Beast of the East is next weekend, also the Champagne tournament. And we will come in afterwards and recap all of it and get you ready for the World Series. It's coming up in just a few weeks. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Deb Brummer. Thank you, Seth Dog. Thank you, Frank Porter. And we'll catch everybody next time around. Be well.